Shalom, family. Shall I say Shabbat Shalom. This video is basically, I wanted to talk about the store shelves emptying. This should be a huge wake-up call to a lot of us out here. This is something that we talked about in the past, about how quickly an emergency can show up, catch you off guard, and the next thing you know, you go to the store and all the shelves are empty. Now, I know this got to be really a hard time for a lot of people because there's a lot of things that's going on. It's all because of the coronavirus. Schools are shutting down. Places of business are shutting down. And there's a lot of unfortunate things happening. People are losing their jobs. And it's really horrible to see this happen. But this should be a wake-up call to all of us. This is something that we have talked about before. Over the years about preparing, being ready, in case things go bad. You don't want to be rushing to the store at the last minute, and we've had a chance that we went to the store and it was so crowded. It was like Christmas. It was like showing up at Christmas time. Oh, not Christmas time. What's that day?
Black Friday.
Black Friday, exactly. It's like showing up at Black Friday at the store, just people everywhere, and the lines were ridiculous, and people were stocking up on water, tissue, just all of that stuff. People were getting all of that stuff.
A lot of it was already gone.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when we got there, a lot of it was already gone.
Now, we had previously stocked up on those things.
Yes,
but we were taking notice of the things that we knew people would go for.
Yes.
That they were not there. They just weren't there, especially the Lysol, the hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Just different things like that. Bleach.
Yeah.
Tissue. Completely gone.
Yes. It's amazing is we had went to the store, dollar store, what it was about a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And we always stock up on tissue. I mean, we buy it in bulk. When we go and get it, we usually buy, was 36 rolls, and we may have like 4 to 8 packs. So we buy in bulk. And the last time we went, the lady at the dollar store noticed it, and she just thought it was strange. But when we went back today and we saw the lady, what did she say?
She noticed that we were getting beans, and she said, "You guys seem to be stocking up." I remember a couple of weeks ago you were getting tissue, and I thought you were strange. But she said you must have known something.
You must have known. So that's exactly what she said.
Know.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. She said you must have known something that the rest of us didn't know. And I said, yeah, But some of these things are common sense, though, y'all. Just think about what we're saying here. The scripture talks about the labor pains, the things that's going to happen as we get to the last days, right? That you're gonna see these things gonna just increase more and more, right? We talked about that. It's common sense. It's like when you see the clouds building, you know it's gonna rain, right? So some of these things is common sense. The problem is many of us are not watching like we should. The scripture says, watch. It told us to watch. We all supposed to be watching. Watching what? The signs of the times. We're supposed to be watching the signs. We're supposed to be watching these things and seeing what's going on and listening with your ears, right? Don't let this stuff catch you off guard. This is a wake-up call. And many of, I remember when we talked about this before, we had people coming on saying that we were being wrong for telling people to stock up on stuff. I'm like,
they said we were teaching people to not trust the Most High.
Yes. And what you got to understand, it has nothing to do with you. You can't say a person don't trust Yah because they stocking up on something.
That makes no sense.
That makes no sense. If that's the case, why did Yah have Egypt under the rule of Joseph stock up, right?
7 years of plenty.
Because he knew the 7 years of famine was coming.
Yeah.
Only a ignorant person would look at 7 years of famine coming and have 7 years of plenty and say, you know what? Y'all gonna make a way during that 7 years of famine. He gonna make a way.
I'm gonna trust him. I'm not gonna put up.
I'm gonna
nothing.
trust. Yeah, I'm not gonna put up nothing. That wouldn't even make any sense. You understand what we're saying?
A lot of times, there's a Christian mindset that exists.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people will look at that scripture that says, "Take no thought for tomorrow will take care of the things in itself." People will look at that scripture to justify not preparing.
Yes.
That scripture is basically telling you don't worry about tomorrow.
Exactly.
It's not telling you don't put aside some extra food or water or what have you. We have to look at things in context, and we also have to look at translations.
Yes.
What was really being said there, you know?
Exactly.
That's why we're getting into the new series that we're going to be doing, getting into biblical history, so that you
Yes.
can understand some things that seem to contradict other things.
Exactly. It's just like my wife said, that particular scripture, you got to understand what's going on when you see that scripture. It tells you don't worry. It's basically saying, okay, for a person who don't have the means to do anything, and you're in a situation where you wasn't able to stock up or whatever, then Yah's going to make a way for you. Don't fear, in other words. If you haven't had a chance to do anything and life was really hard on you financially, you weren't able to do some extra things, then you can still take no thought. Yah's he's gonna make a way for you. That's basically what it's trying to say. But people sometimes people take scriptures out of context. You know, understand? So basically, the scripture told us to watch and pray. We're supposed to be watching everything. These things like this should not come upon you, and then when it happened, then you sitting there and you like, oh man, I didn't know. It was enough information out there, especially over the past few years, in my opinion, to say, man, things could easily go south fast. Especially just thinking about the dollar crashing. Things could go south fast. And so we got to think about all of these things. You got to think about it, right? You see, Yah wants, so that's what I'm thinking that the scripture, what Yah is trying to get us to do. Now, look at this scripture here. When you look at Matthew chapter 24, and it's talking about all those things that's going to come to pass, the tribulation, right, that's going to come to pass, and the scripture says, for as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even into the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will be eagles gathered together. Right? This is immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give up her light, and the stars shall fall from the heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Then shall there appear a sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, and from one end of the earth to the other. Now he goes on. I want to read this to you, what it says here, right? It says, verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days they were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying, giving in to marriage, until the day Noah entered into the ark, and they knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? Now you got to understand what it's talking about. It's telling you, in other words, when these things come that the scriptures talked about, it's going to come swiftly. One day it's going to be like normal life, and then the next day the whole world is going to be thrown into this vortex that's not going to stop. You understand what I'm saying? And it's going to happen quickly. People are going to be happy, get married one minute, next minute, their whole life is going to get torn apart, right? Then it goes in verse 42. Listen to what it says. After all of this stuff that it tells you that's going to come to pass in Matthew chapter 24, we get to verse 42, nearly at the end of the chapter, and he says, watch therefore. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your master doeth come. But notice that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and not suffer this house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready. You hear this? It's telling you be ready, right? Think about what we're saying here about the thief, right? The thief comes in the middle of the night, and if that man had known, he would have been waiting for that thief. No, you ain't gonna come in, you ain't gonna break up nothing, right? You ain't gonna mess my house up. You ain't gonna take from me, right? But that's like this thing that's going on with this coronavirus, and now the stores are emptying everywhere like you wouldn't believe. And with this stuff emptying so fastly, notice this here, right? What happens when you go to the store now, and or when it's time to caught you off guard, and now you're like, oh my goodness, it's just like a thief that came up in your house and robbed you, because now you can't get these things. This is why we got to be wise. We got to think about all this stuff. You know, we got to think about all of it. Can you imagine how things could quickly go even worse than what we're seeing now? This could very well just be the tip of the iceberg of what is about to happen. Do you know how quickly they can start shutting down whole states, shutting them down, telling you can't go nowhere? Can you imagine they can set up barrack blockades and have troops there, and you don't know because coronavirus is over here, you can't go, you can't leave. Do you know how quickly? Yeah, say what?
That's martial law.
That's martial law. You understand? And I believe that's really what they're trying to do. I believe they're trying to really get that martial law thing going, you know? It's already going on in China. Pretty much they got areas locked down over in China.
Other areas too.
Yeah, in other areas, other cities, other countries too. And so understand where we're coming from when we tell you, when we come and we give you these messages and we tell you that you should do this and you should do that, just consider it. Pray then. If you're not sure, just pray. Now let me give you an example of something, right? Watch this. Pay attention, okay? I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, okay? I remember years ago when Y2K was about to happen. Everybody talking about when the year 2000 hit, the clock was stocking up on this, and I didn't get a chance to stock up on anything. So I wouldn't pray. I said I wouldn't pray to the Father, right? And the Father put it in my spirit not to worry. Just like that, don't worry. So when Y2K hit and nothing happened, I said, wow. The Most High told me, don't worry. In other words, it's going to be okay. So in other words, when we give you these messages, we talk about, hey, this can happen, that can happen, save up, stock up, whatever. Then you should pray. You should go to Yah. You say, Father Yah, I'm hearing what this brother's saying about this. I want to ask you, Father Yah, should I stock up? Is there a reason for me? Should I really just think about this thing and do this? Just think about it, right? Because even in areas like Flint, when Flint's water went bad, right? Those people that were without water was like, oh man, what am I going to do? All we're saying is it might not be, the trumps might not be blowing just yet in the scriptures, right? In Revelations. But things could still happen that could throw you off for some time. Look at the people in Flint. Man, they went a good long time with this water crisis. And I don't even know if they even took care of it yet. You understand? And so all we're saying is pray. Ask Yah. I prayed. I asked Yah. Most High told me everything was going to be okay. And so I wasn't afraid. I knew when Y2K came, year 2000 came, and the next day everything was normal, and everything just continued as normal. I said, wow, thank you, Yah. You know? But then after that, I said, okay, we're going to start preparing for some things. We started doing it. We started preparing and saving up and stocking up on food and other things like that, so that, guess what? We started doing it, and then when the power outage happened, and we were 8 days without power, a lot of areas of Michigan, half of Michigan or more was without power, and it was other states and even up into Canada was without power for 8 days. We were ready. And I was like, wow, thank you, Yah, that I had stocked up, that we had a generator, that we had gas and all the things we needed. We had it all. And so all I'm saying to you is that you want to be ready. You understand what I'm saying? You want to be ready. You want to just say, hey, if there's anything I can do, let me do it. Just do the least things. Get yourself some water and some canned goods. Something that you at least get you through the first 7 to 10 days if a crisis do happen in your area. Like I said, it doesn't have to be something out of Revelations. It can just be a simple crisis that happened in your area. You should be prepared just in case. But I hope that this is a real wake-up call to a lot of you out there, and that you will say, okay, I get it, Watchman. I get what you're saying. I understand it now. I get it now. You understand? I get it now. I remember this motivational speaker said this, and it made a lot of sense. It ain't in the scriptures, but it made a lot of sense. And there's a lot of statements out there that make sense. They might not be in the scriptures, but they make a lot of sense. But this person said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not get one than to have an opportunity come and not be prepared. You hear that? So in other words, it's better to be prepared and not have a major crisis happen to you than to have a major crisis happen and not be prepared. That's all I'm saying, is be prepared. But anyway, family, I want you to continue to pray, continue to seek Yah, continue to get close to Him. And I'm telling you, it was so much traffic out, and the stores were just packed. I mean, every store we went by, and every dollar store, I'm telling you, they were packed with cars. I was like, man, am I seeing this? There were people in Walmart, and we had masks. I mean, hey, and there were people.
Nobody's germs.
Yeah, you don't want nobody's germs, right? And went in the store, and this guy was coughing all crazy and stuff, and I was like, woo, folk were looking over at him like, does he have the virus? Folk were looking at him strange.
Keep that over there.
They were like, will you get away from me? And folk had their mask on, walking around, and people were talking about this whole thing, like, I mean, you hear what I'm saying? Wow. But it was really weird seeing things today and how it was, and I think it was something that sometimes we need these wake up calls. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we need it. Yeah. My kids needed to see it because they haven't really seen anything in their years that really happened to where, you know what I mean? But most of my kids weren't around when 2/11, 9/11, what was it? 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
My kids wasn't born yet.
And even Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, exactly.
And whether this is a government
yes.
hyping situation where they're hyping things up,
yeah,
we don't know. We don't know if that's what it is, but regardless of the fact, the Most High is allowing it. That's the one thing I want people to keep in mind.
Yes.
Anything that happens on a large scale or even on a small scale, the Most High allows it.
Yes.
That being said, we have to act accordingly. Not in fear, but
yes.
trusting in the Most High.
Yes.
A lot of people are operating in fear right now.
Yes.
That's the last thing you want to do. While you are trusting in the Most High, it is still okay to buy some canned goods
yes.
or whatever, or buy some extra water. It's okay to do all of those
It's okay,
things.
yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And like somebody says, when you don't take the vaccine, you will be forced by military into a camp, and you and your children under 10 will be somewhere else. I mean, it's quite possible that some of this stuff could actually happen. I mean, think about it, right? I mean, they can start forcing people, if they come up with a vaccine for coronavirus, right? They can start forcing people, you better take this you better take these shots, you better take them, right? I mean, man, that's something.
Not get to that point.
It may not. But if it does, Do you see how quickly things can get really scary? You understand what I'm saying? You see how quickly? And so, y'all help us, because I'm telling you right now, I've gone through the scriptures. This coronavirus is nothing. If this thing got you all scared, I'm telling you, this is nothing. Read Revelations. read some of the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Some of the things that tell you that's going to come to pass in the last days. It says men's heart failing them with fear. That means people are going to look and see things and be like, oh no. Like they're going to just be like, yeah, help me. Are you hearing what I'm saying here?
Men shall seek death, and death shall flee from them.
It's going to flee from them.
What are they going to see to where they're going to seek death and it's going to flee from them?
Are you hearing this right?
So this coronavirus ain't got nothing on that.
This
Whatever
is nothing.
that is, and you're seeking death, but it don't want to have nothing to do with you. That's got to be some scary stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's really a trip? I would like to see this coronavirus under a microscope and see what it looks like. Because this person just said here, and it kind of got my attention. It got my attention what you said here, okay? He said corona means crown in Spanish. So crown virus? Now, the thing that got me about that is, you know, the demon locust that the scripture talked about in Revelations. It talked about them having like their heads, almost like they got a crown or something that said about them things. Now, I'm not saying that's it, but it's just strange, you know, that it means crown. But we just got to be ready, because I'm telling you right now, it's no telling what y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now. Each time I read Revelations, when it talk about these particular demon locusts that's gonna come out of hell from the bottomless pit, I'm telling you, they're like a scorpion. I'm telling you, when I read that, I said, It says it's gonna sting men, and they gonna have pain for so many days. They're gonna be in pain, and they're not gonna kill men, but they're gonna just torture them pretty much. And it's a lot of stuff, I'm telling you right now. It just makes you sit there and say, yeah, what is going to take place? What is he going to allow to happen? What are we going to see in these last days? Are we going to see these things, or are they going to be spiritual? You know what I'm saying? Is this going to be some kind of virus that's going to come out of nowhere and going to be stinging people? Or is it going to actually be some type of bug or something? You know, I mean, it's just really weird, you know, when you look at some of the scriptures and you see what it's saying. Sometimes the scriptures is literal and sometimes it's not, you know, and so we got to keep an open mind. You know what I'm saying? Got to keep an open mind. I heard one person say this, and it said it's kind of interesting, but they said that if John looked in the future and he saw a helicopter, there were these new helicopters that had these missiles on them, and they were blast. If he saw a war and he saw these helicopters shooting these missiles, and when the missile went out and hit the ground and blew up stuff, he wouldn't have known what it was. He would have probably thought it was an animal. Think about what I'm saying here, right? He would have looked at it and he could have possibly thought it was an animal, right? He would have described it and said, man, I saw this flying animal that shot fire from his mouth. I mean, he could have thought that, right? But anyway, I just want you to be open-minded, period, about the scriptures and the things we see in Revelations, and understand this coronavirus, what we see now, is just the tip of the iceberg. This can't even be compared to some of the things that the scripture actually talked about. So anyway, I want you to wake up. And those of you that are woke, stay woke. Okay? This was definitely a wake-up call. Stay woke and be blessed. On that note, I'm going to say shalom.
sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.